Hi friends, this is Sarojini here. Welcome to my networking channel. Hope all are doing good. And today the topic I'm going to discuss about how to configure MPLS Layer 3 VPN. So with the PECE, I'm going to configure a CAGRP. That means this provider edge router and the customer edge router, I'm going to configure EAGRP on both these ends, right? So let us see how the MPLS exactly works. First, the packet will be routed from customer edge router to the provider edge router, and at this transmitting end will be impose or push the label onto the prefix. That means the label will be prepended to this prefix and will send to the provider router. That is a labeled packet will be sent to this provider core router. In this core router, it will do a label swap. That means it will swap the label say from 17 to 16, and again this labeled packet will be sent to this PE2. That is a provider edge router 2. And at this end, again it will pop the label and will send only the label packet. That is an unlabeled packet. It will send it to CE2. So only will be doing labeling at this corresponding MPLS backbone router. So these are three routers, what we call it as a label switch router. That means it can do either label push, label swap, or label pop. So the label push and the label pop done at the LER, that is a label edge router. So this also we call it as a ingress LER. So at the ingress end will be adding the label, and at the egress end will be removing the label. So this is the provider core router which sits in between the PE1 and PE2. So these are the key points you have to understand. So now what are the things we are going to configure is, first I am going to configure VRF. So VRF is a virtual routing and forwarding. So instead of a single global routing table, I am just dividing into multiple smaller virtual routing instance. I am going to create this single virtual instance for several customers. So that can be several customers in a MPLS cloud, right? So to segregate or to differentiate between the several customer routes, we are using VRF, that is a virtual routing and forwarding. It is nothing but a virtual routing instance I am going to create. Just like a VLAN we are creating. So this is we are creating for a single virtual table, routing table for a single customer. So under this VRF, I will be assigning RD. So RD is nothing but a 8-byte or a 64-bit value which is used to distinguish between two identical customer routes. What it means is, say the two customers, there are different customers, they are using the same prefix 192.168.1.0. So if you want to distinguish between the same customer identical routes, in that case I have to assign RD. RD is a route distinguisher which is distinguished from one customer from other customers. They both can use the same identical routes or the prefix value. So for distinguishing we are using this RD, which is a 64-bit value. So what about RT? So both RD and RT uses the same format. The only difference is RD is used for distinguishing the route, and RT, that is a route target, which is used for importing and exporting the customer routes between these MPLS backbone, right? So for that reason, we are using this. So first I will be enabling this VRF, RD and RT on PE1 and PE2 router, and then I will be activating this on this corresponding interface, that is this corresponding fast Ethernet interface facing the provider edge router. And the second thing, I'm going to configure the LDP and IGP configuration. So this both will be combining, will be configuring together. So what it means is IGP is nothing but a routing protocol. I can use OSPF and LDP together. So that means whenever I'm configuring this routing protocol, this will automatically trigger this LDP. So what is LDP is a label distribution protocol which is used for distributing or advertising the label between this provider edge and the core router. So for that reason we are using the LDP protocol. So the third thing, I am going to configure the MPBGP between the PE1 and PE2. So what is the MPBGP? So I already told RD. So whenever you are sending the prefix, already RD will be appended to the prefix and it will send to the provider router. So the collection of, or the combination of RD plus prefix, what we call it as a VPN v4 route. So for exchanging the VPN v4 route between this provider edge 1 and 2, we are using the MPBGP protocol. So that's the third thing I'm going to configure. And the fourth thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to configure the EAGRP between the CE1 and PE2. This is the EAGRP. So I'm going to configure EAGRP between CE1 and PE1 router. So not only from the CE1 and PE1, I'm also going to configure between CE2 and PE2 router. Afterwards, the final step, I'm going to perform the redistribution between the BGP and IGP. So both the two ways I'm going to redistribute. So these are the key points I'm going to do. So now let us go with the basic configuration. Let us now activate the VRF, RD and RT. So let us go to the PE1 router. So we have to do it in the MPLS backbone router, right? This is the provider edge router which plays at the provider premises. So go to the configuration mode, how to activate IPVRF red. So this is a value I'm going to give. Under this, we can specify RD. So RD is a 64-bit value. So first will be ASN colon 1. That is a format. ASN is the autonomous system number. Colon 1 is a just an ID. So any format we can give, I'm going to give us RD 1:1, right? Followed by, I'm going to specify the route target. So route target is nothing but for importing and exporting, right? So for both importing and exporting, I'm using both 1:1. So both the format remains the same, only the purpose is different as I told already. So after this, I'm going to perform the same thing. So I'm going to configure the same VRF on both this PE2, PE1 and PE2. So now let us configure on PE2. So go to the PE2, go to the configuration mode, IPVRF red, followed by the RD 1:1 and the route target both 1:1. So this is the configuration I have done. So after that, we have to enable this VRF on this corresponding interface. Interface facing the provider edge router. On this corresponding interface facing this provider edge router, I am going to activate the VRF. How to activate? Go to PE1, go to the configuration mode, interface fast Ethernet 0x0, IPVRF forwarding, followed by the VRF name, that is red. So immediately the interface will be removed due to enabling. So again we have to activate this IP address 192.168.12.2, 255.255.255.0. Let us do the no shut. Similar way, let us go to PE2, go to the configuration mode, interface fast Ethernet 0x0, IPVRF forwarding red, right? So after that, again I have to activate the interface IP address 192.168.45.1, 255.255.255.0. Let us activate the interface. So after enabling this IP VRF on this interface, this will be automatically removed. So again, we have to enable this IP address. So that's the thing I have done. So the first step is over. So the second thing, I am going to configure this LDP and IGP configuration. So both I'm going to configure together, because I already told this routing protocol will trigger this LDP between these neighbors, right? So let us now configure. Go to PE1, go to the configuration mode and router OSPF 100 followed by the network command. So the network command, what we have to give is, we have to going to advertise only these MPLS routers, right? This interface, not this corresponding interface. So we have to configure this corresponding interface, and here I have defined the loopback address 2.2.2. This end is 3.3.3 and this end is 4.4.4. So let us configure 192.168.23.0, 0.0.25 area 0. So these are the basics, the 3 steps we need to do on all the corresponding MPLS configuration. So these are the basic steps we need to do. Followed by the, I have to identify the loopback address. I'm advertising the loopback address 2.2.2, 0.0.0.0, area 0. So now I already configured the IGP. Now let us activate the LDP. That is MPLS configuration is MPLS LDP auto config. So either I can do it on OSPF, this routing protocol, or also I can configure on this corresponding interface, this interface and this corresponding interface. So what is the command is MPLS IP. So both the ways I can enable this MPLS. So I'm just enabling this LDP auto configuration. So after that, what I'm going to do, I am going to perform this on this provider router and PE2 router. So this LDP configuration we have to configure only on the MPLS cloud. So go to provider router, go to the configuration mode, router OSPF 100, network 192.168.23.0. This is two interface 23 and 34, 0.0.0.25 area 0, followed by 34 area 0. Then there is a one more loopback address, that is 3.3.3, 0.0.0.0, followed by area 0. Then let us activate the LDP, MPLS LDP auto config. So this is the thing I have done. Now let us go to PE2 router. Go to PE2. Similar way to do. Activate the IGP, that is OSPF. IGP is the interior gateway protocol. So I'm defining OSPF further. So the network is 34. So 192.168.34.0, 0.0.0.255 area 0. followed by network is this loopback I'm going to define 4.4.4 0.0.0.0 area 0. Then let us activate the MPLS LDP auto config. That's a label distribution protocol. So once that is done, now let us see whether the neighbor is up. We are going to see whether the LDP neighbor is up. So before that, let us see the configuration. So there are two commands you can check. Show MPLS interfaces will show LDP is active. So how to check the neighbor? Show MPLS LDP neighbor. So it has only one neighbor, that is 3.3. This provider router is a neighbor, right? This is a loopback it is showing, and is established using the TCP connection, right? You are able to see. Similar way, let us go to provider router. It has two neighbor, MPLS, LDP neighbor. So provider core router, I already told, it sits in between the PE1 and PE2. So the PE1 IP loopback is 2.2 and PE2 is 4.4. That's the thing you are seeing. So let us see it on PE2. So PE2 also neighbor is up. So right. So now let us do the basic ping from PE1 to PE2 and PE2 to PE1. How to check it? Go to ping 4.4.4 source loopback 0. So I'm able to reach. Let us also check it from PE2 ping 2.2.2 source is loopback 0. Yeah, I'm able to reach from both PE1 and PE2. So now the third step we are going to do, that is MPBGP. I'm going to configure between PE1 and PE2. So these two steps we have completed. We are going to configure the third one. Now let us configure MPBGP between the PE1 and PE2 router. So how to do that? Go to PE1 and I'm going to enable the autonomous system number 234. All this router will be in AS 234. So let us go to PE1, go to the configuration mode. So I'm going to configure this as a IBGP neighbor. All PE1 and PE2 will be in IBGP neighbor. So both within the same autonomous system 234, right? So go to router BGP 234. And the neighbor is I already told, I have defined this loopback address 4.4. So this is 2.2, 3.3 and 4.4. So the neighbor is 4.4.4 and the remote AS is 234 since it is an IBGP neighbor. So since we are establishing using this loopback address, I have to update this command, update source loopback 0. So and also told we are establishing the VPN v4 route, and that route is established by this protocol MPBGP. So what I'm going to do, I have to activate this address family. So through address family, I can use address family VPN v4 route. So through this address family, I can establish the VPN v4. I can advertise this VPN v4 route between these both the provider edge router. So then let us do neighbor 4.4.4 activate, right? So that I have done. Similar way, let us go to router BGP 234 on PE2. So on the other end, go to the configuration mode, router BGP 234, and the neighbor is 2.2.2, right? This neighbor, that is 2.2 loopback address, and the remote ASC same, that is a IBGP neighbor. Then neighbor 2.2.2 update source loopback 0, right? So after that, let us activate the address family. So with the help of address family, I can use multiple route, right? VPN v4 or VPN v6, IPv4, IPv6, I can use using this address family. So this is the command I have to activate for this MPBGP protocol. I'm establishing this MPBGP between PE1 and PE2. So address family VPN v4, then neighbor 2.2.2, that's the loopback address of PE1 activate. So after this, let us now check the neighbor. How to check it? Show BGP. This we have to use VPN v4. This is a VPN v4 route, unicast all summary. So the neighbor is up. Similar way, let us go to PE2, show BGP VPN v4 unicast all summary. So the neighbor is up. You are able to see the neighbor is up. So now one more thing is pending. Since I'm not using IPv4, I'm using only VPN v4. We can go and remove the IPv4 on both PE1 and PE2. How to do that? Go to the configuration mode, router BGP 234, address family IPv4, no neighbor 4.4.4 activate, because I'm using only this VPN v4 route, right? Not IPv4. That is the reason I'm removing this. Similarly, let us go to PE2 and go to the configuration mode, router BGP 234, address family IPv4, no neighbor 2.2.2 activate. That means it's removing this IPv4. It is only activating the MPBGP between PE1 and PE2. So that's the purpose of doing this. So now you can see whether the neighbor is active. So now immediately it came up, right? So that means it removed this IPv4, only the MPBGP is activated between this PE1 and PE2. That is a VPN v4 route. So that is fine. Now the final step is we have to configure this EIGRP between the CE1 and PE1 router. So both the ends I have to do. Let us configure this on CE1 and CE2. So go to the configuration mode, router EIGRP 100, and the network I am going to advertise is 12.0, right? So 192.168.12.0, 0.0.0.255, and followed by I advertise already the prefix. This is a loopback address, network 1.1.1.1, and then let us give no auto summary. So this is the thing I have done on CE1. Let us now advertise on CE2 also. CE2, this is a network 45.0, and I also advertise this loopback address 5.5.5. So this also I'm going to advertise. Go to CE2 configuration mode, router EIGRP 100, and network is 192.168.45.0, 0.0. Followed by network is 5.5.5. Let us do a no auto summary, right? So you have done this on CE1. Now let us activate on PE1 and PE2. So I have to configure the EIGRP on PE1 and PE2. So let us go over to PE1. Go to the configuration mode, router EIGRP 100. So here I have to configure a specific command called address family. Address family IPv4. So why IPv4? Since we are activating these customer routes, right? So this is nothing but not a VPN v4. It is a IPv4 route. So that is the reason I'm using the address family as IPv4. Followed by we have to specify the VRF name. VRF name is red. So then we have to give another command, autonomous system. In EIGRP, we have to specifically do this. Autonomous system value is 100. Let us make it the same autonomous system number value. Then what we have to do, we have to advertise this network. What is the network is? 12.0, right? 192.168.12.0. Then let us do a no auto summary. No auto summary, right? So you are done the same thing. We will do it on PE2 also. This end also. Go to PE2. Go to the configuration mode, router EIGRP 100. So why I'm doing this? I'm establishing the EIGRP between CE1 and PE1 router. That's the reason I'm configuring EIGRP on both the ends. After that, final step is we need to perform the redistribution. Why? Because this is in BGP and this is in IGP. So we have to perform the redistribution for the communication from CE1 all the way to CE2, right? So let us go to PE2, address family IPv4, followed by VRF red. Then I have to specify the command called autonomous system. So this only apply for EIGRP. Autonomous system 100. Then let us specify the network 192.168.45.0. That is the network I'm going to advertise. Then let us do a no auto summary. No auto summary. So now the final step is I'm going to configure the redistribution. So now let us perform the redistribution between EIGRP and BGP and BGP and EIGRP on both these routers, PE2 and PE1 router, because always redistribution we have to perform at the edge router. So this is the router I'm going to perform the redistribution. So how to do it? Go to PE1 and go to the configuration mode. First let us go to router EIGRP 100 and address family IPv4. We have to perform this IPv4 VRF red. That is a VRF name. Then I have to do the redistribution. So redistribution BGP. BGP, this is the number is 234, right? Autonomous system is 234. So 234. Then we have to give the metric. So metric, let us make it as first one is it will come bandwidth and delay, reliability and metric and MTU. So right, I have done with the things. So similar way, let us go to BGP and let us do the redistribution. So go to configuration mode. So it perform two-way redistribution. Go to router BGP 234 address family IPv4 VRF red, right? So now let us do redistribute EIGRP and the autonomous system number is 100, followed by I to perform enter. So right. So similar way, let us now go to PE2 and perform the same step. Go to PE2. First, let us log into EAGRP. Router EAGRP 100, address family IPv4, right? So since I'm doing IPv4 VRF name is red. Similar way, let us make it as autonomous system. Your autonomous system. Autonomous system 100. So we have to perform that step in P1 also. So redistribute BGP 234 metric 1. This bandwidth load delay MTU. So that's the reason I'm doing this. So similar way, let us go to BGP 234. So router BGP 234 address family IPv4. So this is a router BGP 234. I'm redistributing. So both the way, two-way I'm redistributing from BGP to EAGRP and EAGRP to BGP at both this edge router. So address family IPv4 VRF red. So then redistribute EAGRP autonomous system is 100. So one more thing I have to do at this corresponding end PE1, right? So what I missed is I have to redistribute at the autonomous system level. So go to again router EAGRP 100 address family IPv4 VRF red and the autonomous system is 100. Let us do the redistribution. BGP 234 metric is bandwidth, delay, reliability, load and MTU. So right. So now let us see, we are able to see the routes are advertised in CE1 and CE2. So CE1 we have to see these advertised routes, that is 5.5.5 this loopback, and CE2 I have to see these corresponding routes. Let us see. Go to CE1 and let us do the show IP route. Yeah, I'm able to see the advertised routes, right? I'm able to see the 5.5.5. Similar way, let us see from CE2. Show IP route. So I'm seeing the both 1.1.1 and 5.5.5. So CE2 I'm able to see this corresponding route. So now let us do a trace from CE1. So let us do the trace 1.1.1, sorry 5.5.5, that is CE2 address. So the final target is why we are doing this 5 steps configuration. So all these are basic steps we need to do for MPLS to work. So for CE1 to reach the connectivity to on the way to CE2, we have to perform all these 5 steps, right? So now I'm able to reach from CE1. So I'm doing a trace. So it is going to CE2, CE1 to PE1 it is going, and again it is adding a label. So this are other two label. One is a transport label, that is 17, and this is a VPN label. Transport label used for transportation of service, and VPN label is nothing but a service label. So only the transport label will be changing, not this service label. But the another thing you have to keep it in mind, at the transmitting end, we'll be adding both the transport and the VPN label. And at the receiving end, we'll be removing both this transport and the VPN label, and only the packet will be sent to the CE2 router. So this the transport label is 17, right? So this is 17. So let us now trace from other end. That is CE2 end. So trace 1.1.1, that is CE1 address, source loopback 0. So here you are able to see 34.1 address is 16, right? This label is 16. You are able to see 16 by 20 is nothing but 16 is the transport label and 20 is the VPN label. The VPN label is using for different services and it will remain unchanged. So all the way the VPN label remains the same, but only the transport label will be swapping. That's the thing we are seeing here, right? So this label will be 17. Since this provider core router, this will do a label swap. So it is like swapping the label from 17 to 16. So that's the thing you are seeing here, right? So this end you are seeing 16 and from here you are tracing it is showing 17. So that means this will swap the label from 17 to 16. You will send the packet, you will send the label packet again here, and still again the transport label will be here, right? So that will strip off the VPN label and the transport label, then you will send only the packet. So this is the way it works. So I hope you enjoy this video. So before that, let us do a quick summary. So first we have configured the VRF, RD and R3. So that I already told to distinguish between the different routes or different customers. Second thing, we enable the LDP. LDP is nothing for advertising and distributing the labels between the provider edge and provider router, core router, right? And then we have configured the OSPF routing protocol. Why means that will trigger the LDP advertisement between this provider edge router. And third thing, we advertise the VPN v4 route between this provider edge and provider edge 2 router. Why means this is already carrying a RD and prefix. So both the combination we call it as a or the MPBGP, right? VPN v4 route. And for this route advertisement, we are using this MPBGP protocol. So this protocol is advertised using the command address family, right? So that's a VPN v4 route. So after that, I configure this EAGRP. Finally, I perform the redistribution from BGP to EAGRP and EAGRP to BGP. So this is the way we can configure the MPLS layer 3 VPN. So these are the basic steps you have to understand. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Thanks and have a wonderful day. Thank you.